that the screen of being is pristine and complete. So, do the multiplicities that appear have choice, or is it a script?
No, it's not a fixed script. God is a jazz musician, not a classical musician. And there are choices, but there is no individual chooser of those choices.
When you look in your memory for my question, would you like tea or coffee? You find it. Yes?
Yeah.
When you look for the memory of your response, I want coffee, you find it. Now, what happens when you look in between those two thoughts for the chooser? You look for it in the same way that you look for the pink elephant. Go there. Look in between those two thoughts for the chooser. Can you find a pink elephant in between those two thoughts?
No.
Can you find a chooser in between those two thoughts? No.
No.
So when you ask the question, how do I find the chooser?
Yes.
Your question presupposes that there is a chooser. So I haven't answered the question, how do I find the chooser? I've answered the question, how do I look for the chooser? You look for the chooser, but you don't find it.
Yes.
That is the essence of self-inquiry. You look for the I the chooser, I the thinker, I the feeler, I the one that is upset. You look for that one and you search in your experience, just like you searched for the pink elephant. But you searched everywhere in your experience for the pink elephant. You didn't find it. You're right. It's not there.
Wow.
You search for the chooser in the same way. But instead of just searching for the chooser, because if you discover there is no chooser, you may still wonder, well, but there is a decider. There is a thinker. There is a feeler. Why don't you just search for the I? Search for the separate I. If you look in your experience, you find thoughts, feelings, sensations, perceptions. Do you find the I? Or what do you find when you look for the I?
Just space, I would say.
That's it. In other words, what is in between the thoughts and the feelings? What do you find if you go in between the thoughts and the feelings, looking for the I? Because I is obviously not a thought or a feeling or a sensation or a perception. So look in between the thoughts, feelings, sensations, and perceptions for I. What do you find there?
Space.
Well, space is a subtle object. What you're right, it's space-like. But can you be more specific? Because you're searching in your mind. You don't find physical space there.
No.
What kind of a space do you find there?
I cannot describe it better.
Perfect, but just try to refine your description a little bit. It's not just inert space you find in between the thoughts and feelings. The fact that you know it's space, how come you know that there is space in between your thoughts and your feelings? because you are aware of it.
Yes, yes.
In
Yeah.
other words, it's not just empty space. It's not
No,
just
no,
emptiness.
no.
It's
Yeah.
aware emptiness,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good word. Yeah.
aware space,
Yes. Yeah.
luminous emptiness,
Aware
So-
space. Yeah.
aware space. So when you, this is the essence of self-inquiry. You look for the self that you believe yourself to be, the separate self, the chooser, the thinker, the feeler, the doer, and so on. You look for that one and you don't find it. And some people just stop there. And as a result of that understanding, they say, there's nobody here, there's nothing to do. But you have to go further. It's not enough to find out that there is no separate self in between your thoughts and perceptions. You have to find out not what is not there, you have to find out what is there. What is there is not a separate self. But what is there is what we call the true self, this luminous emptiness, this aware space.
So that means, Rupert, that these choices I do, it doesn't come from a personal chooser, it just arises?
It's not that it doesn't come from a personal chooser, it's that there is no personal chooser, either to come from or not to come from. Yes, it arises.
It just arises. Ah,
It just
okay.
arises. There are still choices. No chooser, you're quite right. There is no individual chooser because there is no individual self. But nevertheless, there are choices. And let's do an experiment. Imagine that you come and visit me in Oxford one day. You walk in and I ask you, Mira, would you like tea or coffee? You hear the question, would you like tea or coffee? That's initially it's a sound. The sound is translated into a thought. And then you answer, what are you going to answer?
Whatever comes.
Whatever it is, you answer coffee. Okay, so we have the sound of my voice, would you like tea or coffee? You have the thought in your own mind, do I want tea or coffee? Then you respond, you have the thought coffee, and then you speak the sound coffee, and I hear it. That's how the communication takes place. Now, in this exchange of sounds and thoughts, do you ever find is there a self, and all of these, the sounds, the thoughts, they all appear in awareness. Do you ever find a chooser of the thought coffee? No, there's the question, do you want coffee? There is tea or coffee. There is the answer, coffee. But there's no chooser of that thought. Yes. So, the idea that there is a chooser of that thought is just an idea. It's not an idea that relates to an actual self. However, having said that, there is a choice. I'd like coffee. So there are questions and there are choices. So when you asked me in Berkeley the other day, who is it that makes the choice? And I said you. I didn't want to get into a philosophical discussion with you. I wanted to keep it more practical than that. But I could have answered, the one that makes the choice is just the one that makes the choice. Whatever it is that makes the choice. That there is no entity. The choice, the question, who wants tea, or do you want tea or coffee? The answer, coffee. They arise in awareness. There is no chooser. But nevertheless, if you are faced with a decision, so the situation is something that appears in awareness. You're faced with a decision that question arises in your mind. and you refer the decision to yourself. Should I take this course of action? Should I do A or should I do B? Pause. In that pause, you refer it to yourself. What matters is, what self do you refer it to? Do you refer it to your fears, your anxiety, your sense of jealousy, or do you refer it to love, to understanding, to truth, to beauty? You refer it to love and understanding. So the thought that then arises, the response to the situation arises on behalf of love and understanding, rather than on behalf of anxiety and fear. So don't worry about who chooses, worry about on whose behalf your choices rise. Do they arise on behalf of love and intelligence, or love and understanding, or do they arise on behalf of your fears, anxieties, and neuroses?
I was having the guilt that when I sit with teachers and I still am deluded, I was taking it, on myself that why am I not seeing? Why am I missing every time? Why am I getting lost in all these movements that are happening? And that's when I feel that it's nothing, should I take responsibility for not making the choice of being aware?
Mira, it's not whether you should take responsibility or not. It's, is there a personal self in you that should either take responsibility or not take responsibility? If you just ask the question, should I take responsibility? And I were to say to you, no, don't take personal responsibility. Tomorrow, you will be asking another question, should I decide whether to do this or whether I do that? Should I choose whether to do this or that? No. See that there is no personal self in you that is either responsible or not responsible. That goes to the root of the issue. Take the idea of a personal self out of the equation. Do your thoughts, feelings, choices, decisions, activities, and relationships arise on behalf of fear, lack, neuroses, etc.? Or do they arise on behalf of love and understanding? To the best of your ability, whenever you are faced with a choice or a decision to make in life, first of all, pause, connect with your innate peace, love, and understanding, and then invite a decision to arise in your mind that arises on their behalf, not on the behalf of fear, anxiety, neuroses, lack, etc. That's all.
There is the awareness of all the fear, but I am operating out of fear, neurosis. So that is also present in this awareness, is what I was saying. And that's nothing which I can do about it, right?
No, and not you don't have to do anything about it. You have to recognize that you are the space of awareness in which all this arises, and this space is not touched by the fear. If you are in touch with this fearless aspect of yourself, then in the face of even extreme circumstances like this, you will be able to make a decision and take action that doesn't come from fear, but that comes from intelligence and love.